When last we left our intrepid adventurers...
They were in a hard science fiction campaign.
No, they were not in a hard science fiction campaign.
You don't understand that.
There is time travel, but we're able to change the past, so it's not hard science fiction. It's not one of the logically consistent models of time travel. Anyway, it requires a meta-time dimension, or whatever, doesn't matter. We didn't do any time travel this particular session. We just did moving our fists travel into enemies' faces travel.
That's the Jenga tower. That's the extra dimension.
Yeah. The weirdest thing is that everyone has, well, not everyone, but every time travel machine has its own Jenga. So yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So when you go time traveling with those fake Panadar, and you mess with the past, you've got your own personalized Jenga tower for that. That's going to be very weird. We're going to be encountering other parties that are...
Does one Jenga tower affect the other one?
Battling Jenga towers. You're like,
you take one off of one and put it on the other.
Are all the fake Panadars from the Warforged? They're
we have one set that's broken and one set that is missing. Although they might be the same set, it's hard to say.
So you could start multiple. You could make John buy more Jenga towers.
Yeah. We do know that, or at least we hypothesize, at one point a block got pulled from our Jenga tower because someone else was in the same time zone using our Panadar at a different point in its timeline. So you can pull from someone else's Jenga tower if you have their time machine from a different time period.
Makes sense. You've gone the long way around.
Oh yeah, it makes sense. Anyway, those are rules that we're determining.
Hey-o.
Anyway, that's not what this session was about. This session was about the hurting and the punching and the killing and smashing. At the end of last session, we were talking with Kylenar in the shady, darkened room in, what was it, Shady Inn?
Shady Inn,
Shady Inn. So we got into this little room in Shady Inn, and we put down the diplomacy table, which also gives bonuses to intimidate checks. This will come in important later. And that was kind of fun. We just pull out our table and put it down, and like, okay, Kylenar. Talk to us at our magic table, it gives us an advantage. And then after we talked to them a bunch and actually got some freaking answers, a whole slew of Warforged just burst into the room with weapons drawn, coming to kill us all. And they're like, Warforged. Yeah. Everyone we meet keeps going on about how helpful they are. And we're like, no, you don't trust Warforged. They're up to something weird. At every turn when we meet Warforged, we're like, okay, how do we kill these guys just to be on the safe side? Because who knows what they're going to do.
Well, the first thing that anyone asked when I said they burst into the room was, are they carrying sacks?
Yep.
Apparently, being beaten senseless and thrown in a sack by Warforged...
And then toss down the world's wound.
Yeah, it makes you a little bit,
Yeah.
suspicious of Warforged.
Yeah.
It was just one kidnapping. You guys need to let it go.
Anyway. So yeah, these guys burst in, and that was where last session ended. And this session began with the initiative roll, which turned out to be very important. Because these guys, they sort of used their surprise round and just poured in, and now we've got this wee little room. It was like 5 by 4, and it's got our whole party in it. It's got Kylenar in it. How many's in our party? Is there 4, 5? There's 5 in our party.
5 in the party plus Kylenar.
Plus Kylenar, plus a table. And then there were 5 Warforged, I think. There were 4 of the Adamantine Vanguard. 6. 4 Adamantine Vanguard, and then the 2 specials.
Yeah.
Yes. There were 6. So all crowded into this room. So yeah, it was very, very cozy. And we rolled for initiative, and fortunately we beat them by I think 3 or something like that. It was pretty close, but we beat them.
Because really the tactical advantage was theirs. They were blocking the exit. The party was pinned down. They had their frontline fighters were all in the front line, right? The 4 frontline fighters were these
Adamantine Vanguards.
Yes, which were basically blocky suits of. They look like just big blocky suits of adamantine armor come to life. That was just completely encasing anything that's Warforged, right? And there was like someone made an Arcana check, and these were known as like these are like the elite soldiers.
Yeah.
Like you only they're mentioned a few times in history when like they bring these guys out for major battles.
Yeah.
But they just basically look like big black suits of armor.
Yeah, and then there were two other Warforged that were unique looking. One of them had a flowing cape, and we had a roll on him. I can't remember what the name of his type was, but he was a leader type. He had
just looked like
lightning and thunder things that he could do that were area effects. And he did things that just auto-healed allies within an area and auto-harmed enemies within an area. So, he was a sort of the command ship.
Yeah.
And then there was this guy that was all covered in spiked chains. He had spiked chains for hands, and others were festooning his body.
Yeah, they're just welded all over him and on pinions and pivots.
He was like constantly swirling these chains around. And we were all really intimidated by him until I suggested he might have, and then
nipple swirlies.
Yeah, nipples, the pasties of power. But we were still pretty scared of that guy because he was like a level 18 elite brute or something nasty. He was a damage dealer, massive damage dealer, and he had threatening reach.
Yes, which is very rare in 4th edition.
And it's a very tiny room, so you move around and he's constantly wailing on you with these spiked flails and stuff.
Yeah, and they knew that they made their Arcana check was very high, so they knew like if you just being near him you get damaged, and they knew that he's gonna grab you, and when he grabs you things get bad, but that's all they were able to figure out.
So both those guys were doing things at range, and they had a wall of Adamantine Vanguard in front of them, so we couldn't directly get to them. But we managed to barely win initiative, so we got to go first anyway. And so we piled on. I can't remember all the things we did in the first round, but basically, Cricket did a thing for pushing people away. Was it Cricket that did it, or was it someone else?
I don't remember. I think the first thing that happened was Croesus's thing.
Right, Croesus made the room his.
He made the room his kitchen.
He set up the kitchen.
He has an ability.
Quite a number of adventures back, we had a fight.
This does tingle my memory.
We were in this inn that was in a swamp. It was on stilts over the swamp.
Yeah, okay.
And it was being besieged by zombies, essentially. And we wound up holed up in the inn's kitchen as our last redoubt strong point. We barricaded the doors, and the zombies are smashing through. And that was the first time Croesus used, what was it, Shards of Chaos? Shattered Time. It's an ability that makes a 5x5 zone where if anyone attacks one of his allies within the zone, Croesus is able to teleport next to them and do an attack of opportunity. So it's really awesome. And so ever since then, that's Croesus's kitchen. So he sets up his kitchen. And then anything that happens inside Croesus's kitchen, he's handling it. He's pounding on you for doing bad things in his kitchen. So he set up his kitchen, and he had another thing he also did, which made the whole room difficult terrain for enemies, not for allies.
And set up a point that repelled enemies away from it.
Yes.
Every turn it pushes them.
Yeah, it pushes them one.
So
it was a group effort. We wound up shoving the chain guy out the door. And then serendipity, Bengal started more top of the power steps, little strides through time, Doom Delayer, set up one of her balls. She put one of her balls in front of the door. It was her electric ball.
It never gets old.
Yeah, never will. Even when she's one now.
Yeah.
Yeah, even when she's only got one ball, it still seems, a euphemism. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, and before he got pushed out the door, how Hank went up and hit him
Oh.
No, Hank didn't go up. He shot a beam at him and immobilized him.
Oh, right, immobilized.
So they pushed the chain guy out the door and immobilized him. And so now he was immobilized, save ends outside the door, outside of range.
And then put up the one of Serenity's balls blocking the door. So even if he wasn't immobilized, he can't come back in through them. So yeah, we were really worried about the chain guy. So we unloaded everything on him in the first round to get him out of the room. And that worked out pretty well. And then, was it in the first round that Croesus somehow... No, Hank, I think, teleported Cape Guy. Was it Hank that teleported?
Oh, that was part of Croesus also teleported Cape Guy.
Yeah. When
He used
Croesus
an
set up
action
the
point.
kitchen, he used an action point to do another thing. And basically teleported Cape Guy from behind his wall of vanguards over into the opposite corner of the room, surrounded by Hank and Croesus and Kylenar.
Right.
Kylenar's a rogue, so he's a striker.
Yeah.
So now Cape Guy is directly adjacent to a striker, which is nice. And Hank's a striker. And Croesus is...
And Stabinate, I guess.
Yeah, he's a defender type. So yeah, Cape Guy is suddenly in a very, very, very bad way there. And we're just sort of ignoring the Adamantine Vanguard at the moment, because Chain Guy is out of the picture and Cape Guy isn't behind them anymore. We'll try and deal with the specials first. So then, after we did all that, it was Kylenar's round. He's not in our party exactly, but he's an ally. He goes next. So Kylenar pulls out some rogue ability.
Actually, I think he started going...
Oh, right,
because
he disappeared first.
Yes, he disappeared first.
He went, did the ninja poosh thing.
Yes.
And,
because the Warforged went before he went.
Yeah.
Before he did anything.
Yeah, and I remember you were sort of going for the, oh, did he abandon us to our fate thing, but I don't think we really cared. We were like, oh, Kylenar's gone. Okay. He's out of the way. Now he can't mess things up. That's good.
What are you gonna do, Kylenar? Hire some first level adventurers?
Yes, I suggested maybe he's run off to go hire a group of adventurers to come help us. But yeah. So then it was the Warforged's turn.
Which wasn't really that impressive, because the Spike Chain guy just was out of range. He did save out of his immobilized without wasting his whole turn.
We didn't see that, though. We don't know what's going on.
The leader tried to stab Croesus with his electric long spear and critically failed.
Yeah,
and he punched a hole in the wall and ripped out a chunk of the wall this big, and they heard people in the room,
Yeah.
as whatever.
The next door rooms of Shady Inn. Apparently the walls are very soundproof, though, because they didn't start streaming until after we punched a hole through it.
Well, it was only, I guess, whatever. But, yeah, people were, well, or maybe they just didn't care.
Oh,
They heard a bunch of weird noise going on in that room, and they're like, whatever.
Oh,
Well, it would have been like stomping of metal feet and then...
Speaking of noise, I forgot what else happened in the first round. So Croesus shattered time in the room, which made the room into a shifting kaleidoscope of nonsense. Aurora fired off two different things, one of which fills the room with black light. It's like her weakening aura thing. And the other one fills it with brilliant white light. And so we thought as soon as the black light was going on, I was like, oh, all the white stuff is fluorescing and stuff like that. And then she starts flashing white light. It's like a strobe going off. And we got shattered time. And then Cricket jumps up onto the intimidation table.
Yeah.
And busts out her songbow, her shrieking songbow. At which point I realized that, I don't know if it was either realized, we just all realized, this is a rave. This is the most amazing rave, because we've got people made of metal slamming around, we've got chains whirling.
There's the silver electric ball spinning.
Yeah, so the Serendipity, Vendel, sort of more top or down, Doom Player's ball is an electric lightning ball. Flashing and sparking.
You made an Eastern European dance club.
Yeah, and so then I'm busting out the shrieking songbow. And I was like, all right, the bard's on the table.
And the guy in the cape has a giant electric stick.
Spear. Yeah, it was pretty awesome. So, and then I did Shout of Triumph. That was what I did the first round. That was part of the rearrangey stuff.
Yes.
That helped get the Spike guy out of there. So Cricket jumps on the table and is screaming at them. Anyway, and of course she's a goat girl,
Yeah.
so we're totally
Metal rave.
This whole thing was rocking out.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was the first round, and wow. If we hadn't got to go first, it would have been very much worse for us, I think.
So Kylenar stabbing eyes.
No, he went poof and disappeared. So next round, the Warforged try their various things and nothing much happens. I can't remember what all the Vanguard were doing.
They punched. What ended up happening is because Croesus could jump in wherever they punched, they were attacking Aurora and stuff, and he kept jumping in and attacking the back. And they punched for a little bit of damage, but it wasn't like anything memorable. They just started punching.
Yeah, because their thing is supposed to be that they're the screeners. They don't do a lot of damage, they also take a lot of damage. So.
And they don't even have weapons. They just have giant adamantine fists, and they just punch you.
I wasn't aware of that. So then next round,
Kylenar went
Kylenar
first.
Came out of stealth and did a sneak attack, stabbinator.
Yeah, he ran up the leader guy and stabbed him right in the neck, and the leader guy was like, ugh, falls unconscious, and Kylenar like backflips onto the table and is like, still got it.
Yeah. So now the cape wielding Warforged is lying unconscious next to Hank. Coup de grace time from a raging barbarian. So we work out like what the best attack is. Cricket does her predict the future thing where you roll 3 d20s and take the highest one and then you can give it to anyone at some point. And I get a crit. So I have a 20 banked up.
But you don't need it on
I don't need it on a coup de grace. I was like, I'll do this now, and then just in case, if the coup de grace flubs completely, it would be a shame.
Yeah.
Hank rolls his coup de grace, and he hits. And he does an extreme critical. He rolls a massive amount of damage, does more than the threshold of extreme, does an extreme critical, and basically chops the guy's leg off. Kablam! The leg is gone. And then he does an
The leg goes shooting off in the other direction and punches through the other wall. And people start saying, oh, it's fine.
It's just a leg. It's not a whole Warforged.
It's just a Warforged rave going on.
Yeah.
They get a little rowdy.
And so he decides to action point and do another coup de grace. Because this guy's not dead yet. Because these are these undead Warforged that you made and they're all broken.
Yeah, you got to take them to negative bloody to kill them.
Yeah.
So he was into negative hit points by the end of that, but he wasn't. He wasn't dead.
Yeah, but he had only one leg to stand on.
Yeah. So
he wouldn't have been much of a threat.
So he action points and does another coup de grace.
That's true. He could just lay there healing his allies.
I think that Cricket used her 20 on this second coup de grace. I know she used it fairly soon afterwards. Was it for that or was it for something else?
Yeah, I think he used it to make it a crit because the damage woke him up, so he wasn't unconscious anymore.
Oh, right. So I couldn't coup de grace anymore.
And so it was just she actually had to use that, but use that 20 to get a crit.
Yeah. So did another crit on him. And I think the hit location on that one was the other leg. Didn't chop it off completely.
This is turning into a Monty Python.
Yeah. We were thinking that.
What are you gonna do? Oil on me?
Well, we didn't chop that one off. I think we killed him with that though.
That killed him.
Yeah,
so it was moot.
Yeah, I mean, when you're unconscious next to a barbarian,
not good.
It's not a good thing, even when you're a horribly broken undead Warforged.
Yeah, there's only so many hit points in the world.
Yeah, and he was a leader, so he didn't have a huge stack of hit points. Yeah. He was pretty high level though. He had some high defenses, if I remember correctly. All of them did, except it turned out Chain Guy had a ridiculously low will defense. We found that out near the end. But anyway,
so you defeated their leader.
So in the first 2 rounds, we isolated their leader and just beat him to scrap. We just piled on. And we could only do that because we put Chain Guy outside. But
you go outside, Chain Guy.
So I think next round, Chain Guy came in through the wall. Was it?
Makes sense.
Yeah, there was a few Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess
he couldn't go through the
by
door.
that time, because they've been pushing the other Warforged away, the big brutes.
Yeah.
And during that turn, one of them got pushed away, and he went right through the wall, and the wall all cracked up. And another one had hit the wall there, I think, and it cracked it. It was the walls were cracking and falling everywhere.
Yeah, and even the ceiling is starting to make noises. So I don't know if this building is going to survive a fight.
So yeah,
It won't be the first time we've had a fight in a collapsing.
Well, there's
building.
like 3 super room-sized abilities going on.
Yeah. That's probably not good for the structural integrity of the place either.
Like,
With
the time of all the
the
materials.
beams keep phasing in and out of existence. That's not so good. So anyway.
But yeah, so the spike chain guy came in through the hole that the other guy had got punched through.
Yeah.
And he actually managed to get into the room and do something.
He put the chains on Cricket.
Yeah, he swung, grabbed Cricket. She was restrained.
Yeah.
So restrained Cricket.
Yeah, that one's bad.
Yeah.
And then I rolled. I can't believe Serendipity has too high of an AC. That is what I've discovered.
She's focused on that sort of thing.
She has a bunch of spells, or well, I don't know. Because I forget. I rolled pretty good. So this thing is they're level 15, right?
Yeah, our party is 16.
16, right? And it was a level. I guess it's not that much higher then. It was a level 18 elite, and I rolled like 15 on the die. And
you should hit.
And it didn't hit her.
Wow.
I
She's
think
really
it was
focused
close.
on
I was
getting
like,
that AC up.
I was like just so confidently. I don't remember what it was. I was like 36 versus AC. She's like miss. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to restrain her.
Yeah. I remember with Anthodon, I pulled something similar. I had a shield, which is not a usual thing for a wizard to have, and so I boosted my AC not ridiculously high, but unusually high.
Yeah, she has a number of items.
Really bad for wizards.
Yeah.
They usually just.
Yeah, usually there's no point at all.
Yeah, you should just have blur and mirror image.
Yeah.
And that's all you need.
But I had actually, with Anthodon, managed to get my AC up so that it was not inconsequential. It was still not great.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's the thing. Well, with a lot of things in third is because it's like a progression.
Yeah.
And once you get to really high levels, no matter what, you're so out of sync.
You're either
right?
great at it or it's not even.
You have enemies that can't miss the wizard and can't hit the fighter.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you get level 20 in third edition.
Yeah.
Or even level 10.
Level 10. Yeah. To some degree, it makes sense, but
I've always found. I haven't played Pathfinder, but I found third edition was usually the best between like level 5 to 15. That was when it was like in a sweet spot of actually balanced.
So anyway, Chain Guy's in the room. He's got Cricket all chained up, which is quite ironic. And someone moved Cricket. No, someone moved Chain Guy.
So if we moved him, the way it worked was he'd be able to go with him, but Croesus, I think, teleported him. So then he teleported him away from all the squishies, and so did, and there was a cricket-shaped chunk of chain in the air that just fell to the ground.
Yeah.
Got out of that.
And so then Cricket used that thing that basically shifts an ally to slide. Kylenar had fallen prone, and so
because one of the Adamantine Vanguard punched him right off the table.
Yeah, he was up on the table next to Cricket, and then he got punched off of it.
That reminds me of another thing it did punched him right off the table. But one thing that I forgot about was that it really sucked that Croesus made the whole room difficult terrain because those Adamantine Vanguards had an ability that was punch a guy, shifts him one square, you shift into the square. But because it's difficult terrain, they can't actually shift into the square, which really sucked for them.
It was only difficult terrain for enemies though, so that was good. So anyway, Kylenar had fallen off the table. And so then Cricket used whatever that ability is, I can't remember, moment of escape or something. Yeah, that was the one. Slide an ally. So I slid Kylenar under the table and across the room, and in between Chain Guy and 2 other Adamantine Vanguards. I figure, he's a striker and he's expendable.
Yeah.
So I'll put him in between them all,
Yeah.
and maybe he'll do some damage.
Yeah.
And so he got up, and then he did a thing which let him regenerate the ability he had used on the cape guy. I guess it was a daily, but he did a thing that made it come back. So he did the stabinate thing on Chain Guy
yeah.
and knocked him out.
Ooh.
Did we have Hank next to him again?
I don't remember. It was the party's turn. Maybe that's.
Yeah, maybe we haven't done it yet. We've all got hook shots, so we can be anywhere we want. We haven't actually used them yet, but at some point it'll be like, okay, we need to rearrange the board.
Yeah.
Whoosh! Everybody Batman!
The one thing that was notable is they spent a lot of time hitting the Adamantine Vanguards, and their AC is exceptionally high. So they spent a lot of time hitting them and them not noticing.
Yeah, we were. That's right. There was a whole bunch of instances where we attacked them and it's like, yeah, you hit them, but it just sort of tinks off their armor. Nothing happens. So I don't know if we really damaged them much.
I assume they have DR as well.
No, because there's no. I guess there's resistance.
Yeah.
No, they actually. Well, I shouldn't say anything, but
There's.
Well, they're wearing adamantine.
The party
so that
actually
usually
has-
has
The
DR.
party actually has a pile of resistance on them right now due to some of those zones we're in.
I should double check to make sure. But this is the 4th edition, though, right?
Yeah. So anyway, we're getting near the end of the session here.
They didn't. I'm sure they didn't manage to take out the chain guy, but they really
I know
hurt
we
him.
didn't kill him. I know we hurt him, or he's set up to be in a world of hurt. He's either unconscious right now, or he went unconscious and we did something to him. I can't remember what.
Well, Kylenar knocked him unconscious.
Yeah.
But I think someone did hit him, but he has a metric butt ton of hit points, so he's an elite, so
Is he an elite brute?
elite controller actually.
Right. Yeah, because he's got all of the restraining people and stuff, and
I
prevent you
assume
from
the
moving around.
adamantine guys are soldiers.
They're actually brutes.
No.
They also have a metric butt ton
Yeah.
of hit points.
Well, the next thing we're going to do is focus fire on Chain Guy. Try and take him out. Because when we did our knowledge check on him, we got like something about how, you remember some legends about like this guy killed towns and stuff? So it'll be nice to kill him just from a good guy perspective. He's very dangerous. But also from a tactical perspective. Those Adamantine Vanguard weren't doing a whole lot of damage when they hit us. So if they're all that's left, then if it turns out that we can't really harm them, we can at least run away.
It's unusual for brutes not to do all pile of damage.
I think they do. It didn't.
They weren't connected.
We were just getting lucky? Okay.
Yeah, I think they did more damage in the second round.
Well, they punched Kylenar, but, we don't know if Kylenar's any good. I mean, sure, he took down two of the top guys, but...
Yeah, actually, my favorite part of that was just Kylenar being awesome, because everyone's like, oh, Kylenar, he's such a lame guy, he sucks.
He's almost practicing.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't be surprised if he is actually, cool and tough in a stats way, but he's still lame. Yeah, once you get on a party's bad side, it's kind of hard to get off it. And this guy, not only was he, projecting an aura of lameness to us the whole time, but now it turns out that he was deliberately deceiving us into thinking he was lame, which is double lame. When we were running around trying to get that box back out of the quote-unquote goodness of our hearts, it turns out he manipulated us into that.
Well, he did offer to pay you. Not really entirely out of the goodness of your heart. He did feel bad, I guess, for losing his box.
Yeah, I don't know if we were doing it for the money, though.
Well, he did say that it could have catastrophic effects for, I think at the time he said world peace or something.
How's it taste, Owen?
I don't think any of us believed that, though.
People were suspicious that they would get the $1,000,000 gold, too.
Yeah.
Aurora probably believed it.
Yeah. I think we mostly believed that, this was something terribly important for him, and his bosses were going to be on him for screwing it up. And so we figured he was just promising anything and everything and threatening anything and everything that he could to make it work. If he'd just been honest with us from the start.
Dear diary. Everyone's standing on our new table. I hope they don't scuff it up. I really like that table. Don't worry, guys. I got this.
See.
Sorry, Rob.
Where'd everybody go?
Sorry, Crosses.
It's dark.
Sorry.
Okay, just gonna stand here and put my armor up and make this room mine. Nothing's gonna happen that I don't want to. And I'll hit anybody who tries to change that. Yeah.
Whoa! I just got that guy's leg off and I went through the wall.